feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood, feeling blessed, never stressed.
How are y'all doing? So today we're going to talk about the sum of terms in an arithmetic progression. So the sum of terms in an arithmetic progression. Now let's move on. Let's quickly dive into this and see. Now supposing we have an arithmetic sequence. So we have 5, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25. So obviously our first term, our A1 is 5. Now what is our D? We can simply say A2 minus A1, so that's 9 minus 5, so our D is 4. Now let's find A8. A8, so how do we find A8? Remember the formula? Let me make a demarcation here so that your space. AN equals A1 plus N minus 1D. So in this case, A8 will be, what's our A1? That's 5 plus 8 minus 1, that's 7, times D. D is 4. Okay, we have 5 plus 28. Our A8 is 33. Okay, so 33. And I'm even more sure because most, you can see they're all odd numbers. So if I got something like 32, I would know that there's a mistake somewhere and I'll try to fix it. But I got 33, so that actually how I say, increases my confidence in my answer. So it's things like this you can use to check your answer. Sometimes if it's supposed to be an odd number and it's an even number and things like that. Now find the sum of the first 6 terms. So how do we find the sum of the first 6 terms? Now we can simply say 5 plus 9 plus 13 plus 17 plus 21 plus 25. Okay, but that actually takes a longer time, and it's after a while it might be too confusing. So what we can do, we're going to use this formula S n. So the sum of the first n numbers will be n bracket a1 plus an over 2. Again, n bracket a1 plus an over 2. And then now remember, an is also a1 plus n minus 1d. So we can even extend this more and say n a1 plus a1 plus n minus 1d over 2, and we have n equals a1 plus a1 gives us 2a1 plus n minus 1d, everything over 2. Okay, so we can use this one or we can use this one. Okay, so how do we find the sum of the first 6 terms? S6 will be, what's our n? So 6 bracket 2a1, our a1 is 5, plus n minus 1, our n is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5, times our d is 4. Okay, let's put everything in brackets so we don't get confused. Okay, so let me put this in a bigger bracket, over 2. So what I like to do, I just start to divide immediately. 2 here, and we have 3. Okay, 2 times 5, that's 10, plus 5 times 4, that's 20. So we have 3 times 30. Okay, that's 90. So the sum of the first 6 terms, the sum of the first 6 terms is 90. Okay, so yes, if we say 5 plus 9 plus 13 plus 17 plus 21 plus 25, that will give us 90. Okay, that will give us 90. Okay, now let's move on. So this is the formula. S will be n bracket a1 plus an over 2, and we can extend it more and say n 2a1 plus n minus 1d, everything over 2. Okay, so we can use this. So if they give us A1 and AN, we can use this. If they don't give us AN, but we have D, we can also use this. So we can either use this one or this one, whichever one you want. Let's move on. Now, what if we have a sequence like this? We have 5, 8, 11, 14. Find the sum of the first 10 terms. Find the sum of the first 10 terms. Okay. Now, whenever we want to find the sum of the first any terms, always make sure you have your A1 and your D. Once you have these two values, you can find the sum of the first whatever terms. Now, what's our A1 here? Our A1 is 5. Okay, A1 is 5. And what's our D? Simply put, A2 minus A1, A3 minus A2, A4 minus A3, 8 minus 5, our D is 3. So remember our formula, Sn equals n first, bracket, 2A1 plus n minus 1D, everything over 2. So S10 will be 10, 2 times, what's our A1? 5. Okay, 5 plus n minus 1, that's 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1 is 9 times our D is 3. Everything over 2. So I can see here 10 divided by 2. I can bring here 5. Okay, so let's start opening the brackets. 2 times 5 gives us 10 plus 9 times 3 gives us 27. Okay, so we have 5 times 10 plus 27 is 37. So 5 times 37 should give us 185. So the sum of the first 10 terms, S10 will be 185. So let's say we want to use this particular formula. Okay, we want to use the Sn equals A1 plus AN over 2. So there has to be n here, sorry. Okay, sorry, let me put it here. Make it big. N A1 AN over 2. So it means we have to find A10. Okay, now let's say we want to use this formula. We don't want to use the 2A1 plus n minus 1D. So first of all, we have to find A10. Okay, so A10 will be A plus 10 minus 1D. A1, sorry. Our A1 is 5 plus 10 minus 1, that's 9. 9 times our D is 3, right? So we have 5 plus, what's this? 9 times 3, that's 27. Okay, and 5 plus 27 is 5 plus 27, that should be 32. Yes, 5 plus 27 is 32. So our A10 is 32. So we can say now n A1 plus AN over 2. Now our n will be 10. Our A1, okay, our A1 is 5. Our A1 is 5 plus our AN, that's our A10 actually, is 32. Everything over 2. So we have, again here, 5. 5 plus 32, 37. We're back where we are. Okay, 32. We have 37 times 5 is 185. So if you can see, we're correct both ways. Our answer still remains 185. Okay, 185 here, 185 here. Our answer still remains 185. I'm really sorry about my voice. Okay, please, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Okay, now what if we're given other values besides A1 or AN? Okay, they didn't give us A1, but they gave us other values, consecutive values. Now, the third, fourth, and fifth terms of an arithmetic progression are 23, 31, and 39. Now find the sum of the first 8 terms. How do we go about this? Now, first of all, we have to find D. That's the easiest thing to find. D is simply A4 minus A3, 31 minus 23. That will give me 8. So that's the first thing I have to find, 8. My D is 8. So how do I find A1? Now remember the formula AN equals A1 plus N minus 1D. So we already have 8, 3, right? We have 8, 3, which is 23. So A1 plus 3 minus 1, that's 2, times our D is 8. So 23 equals A1 plus 2 times 8 is 16. A1 will be 23 minus 16, and that should give me 7, I believe. Yes, 23 minus 16 should give me 7. So I can see that my A1 is 7. We have our A1, 7, our D, 8. So we can easily find the sum of the first 8 terms. So S8 will be, let me just put the formula first so that we don't forget, we get used to it. N 2A1 plus N minus 1D over 2. So sum of the first 8 terms will be 8. Now, make it this bracket big like this. Now, 2 times our A1 is 7 plus N minus 1. So that's 8 minus 1, that's 7 times D. Our D is 8. Okay. Okay, now 2 times 7, that's 14, obviously. And 7 times 8 will give me 56. Okay, everything. Okay, sorry, I forgot the 2 here. Now 8 over 2. Now let's move to the next page. Now, hold on. So we have 8, 14 plus 56 over 2. Okay, so we can simply divide here, 4. Now 14 plus 56, remember 4 plus 10 is always, 4 plus 6 is always 10, so we expect to have a 0 here, so it should give me 70. And, okay, 70 times 4. 70 times 4 is 280. So the sum of the first 8 terms in this sequence will be 280. You see, they didn't give us A1, they didn't give us AN, but we were able to find the sum. Okay, as long as you can find your A1, okay, you can use it here, find your A1 by using this formula, and then find your D by just simply subtracting the 2 consecutive terms, A4 minus A3, A5 minus A4. You're going to get your D, and then just slot your values in this formula, and 2A1 plus N minus 1D over 2. Okay. Now, let's just see. Now, let me just do something before we go to the next question. Now, remember our A1 was 7. Our A1 was 7, and our D is 8. Let's just, add 8. Okay, let's add 8 to each of, let's do this one. So like this, 7, 15. Okay, so what's 15 plus 8? 15 plus 8 should give me 23. Okay, and what's 23 plus 8? You see we're getting our values. That should give me 31. And what's 31 plus 8? 31 plus 8 should give me 39. Okay, and what's 39 plus 8? 39 plus 8 should give me 47. And what's 47 plus 8? 47 plus 8 should give me 55. What's 55 plus 8? 55 plus 8 should give me 63. Are we up to 8 yet? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, let's try to add all these values together. If you have a calculator, just try to add all these values and check if you get 280. Just if you have a calculator, don't stress yourself by doing it in your head. If you have a calculator, just calculate. Get your calculator, sorry, and then calculate and see if you get 280. If you get 280, so it means we're correct. It's just your own way of confirming. You don't have to do it. I just want to prove to you that our answer is correct. So if you actually add all these values together, you should get 280. Okay. So once you know your A1 and you know your D, you can, you're good to go. You're really good to go. Okay. So you can see we actually got our values here, 23, 31, 39. Now let's move on. Now, what if they give us random values? Now, they give us A3, which is 11. They give us A6, which is 23. Now, find the sum of the first 9 terms. Again, how are we going to do this? Now, always remember your equation. The equation AN equals A1 plus N minus 1D. If you can always remember this, you won't really have a problem. Okay, now, so it means A3 is equals to A1 plus 3 minus 1, that's 2, 2D. A6 is A1 plus 6 minus 1, that's 5, 5D. Now that means 11 equals A1 plus 2D. 23 equals A1 plus 5D. Now what can we do here? We simply say equation 2 minus equation 1. Okay, this will be equation 1, equation 2. So let's take them one by one. 23 minus 11, that's 12. A1 minus A1, 0. 5D minus 2D, that's 3D. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. 12 equals 3D. And we can simply divide both sides by 3. So our D is 4. Interesting. Okay, D is 4. So how do we find A1? So you can just pick any of these, use A3 or A6. This. Remember, let's use this one. 11 equals A1 plus 2D. 11 equals A1 plus, what's our D? Our D is 4. 11 equals A1 plus 8. So I don't need to tell you guys. I think you already know what A1 is. A1 is 3. Okay, I can just bring it here. So A1 would be 11 minus 8. That's 3. Okay, so once we have our A1 and once we have our D, we're good to go. Our A1 is 3, our D is 4, and we can slot our values in the equation. And let me bring the equation here. Sn equals N 2A1 plus N minus 1D, close bracket, over 2. Now we're looking for the sum of the first 9 terms. Okay. Remember, our A1 is 3, our D is 4. So we have 9. Let me use a square bracket. 2 times, what's A1? A1 is 3. Okay, plus N, that's 9 minus 1, 8. Our D is 4. Everything over 2. Okay, so we have 9. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 plus 4 is 32. Everything over 2. 9. 6 plus 32. Sorry, 6 plus 32 is 38. Let me just. So we have 9 times 38 over 2. 2 goes out here. We have 9 times 19. And what is 9 times 19? That should be somewhere about 171. Should be 171. Yes. Yes. So it should be 171. We should get 171. Okay. So the sum of the first 9 terms in this sequence should be 171. Okay. So Okay. So the sum of the first 9 terms should be 171. Oh, by the way, I think I missed something. yeah, here I think if you guys can do this, just practice this one, find the sum of the first 15 terms. We already found the sum of the first 10 terms as 185. So you guys can do this and let me know your answers. Just let me know your answers. Now let's move on. Okay, so we have the sum of the first 9 terms as 171. And if you just want to, I mean, you don't have to, but you just want to remember our A1 is 3, so we just keep adding 4. 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 7, 11, 11 plus is 4, 11 plus 4, sorry, 15, 15 plus 4, 19, 19 plus 4, that's 23, 23 plus 4 should be 27, 27 plus 4, that should be 31, 31 plus 4, that's 35, 31 plus 4, that's 39, 39 plus 4, that's 40, 43, 43 plus 4, that should be 47. So you can add, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you just decide to add these terms, you can just try on your own, just add them together with your calculator. They should give you 171. Again, you don't have to do this. Okay, you don't have to do this. It's just for confirmation. You don't have to do this. Okay, this is actually quite long. Okay, and you can see our third term here is actually 11, and our sixth term here is actually 23. So you can see we're actually doing well. All right, now let's answer this question. The sum of four consecutive odd numbers is 1048, 1048. Find those numbers. Now we have 4 consecutive numbers. Let's let them be A1, A2, A3, and A4. Now the sum of these 4 numbers is 1048. Now remember that they are odd numbers, so the difference between odd numbers is always 2. For example, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and what have you. So we see the difference between 1 and 3 is 2. So the difference between consecutive odd numbers is always 2. Okay, so we have our n as 4, our d as 2. So let's try to find our a1. Okay, remember the formula, Sn equals n, I'm going to use a square bracket, 2a1 plus n minus 1d over 2. Now let's slot in our values. So our n is 4, 4, 2a1 plus our n is 4, 4 minus 1, 3. What's our d? 2. So 3 times 2. Everything over 2. Now let's divide. This goes out. We're left with 2. Now let's open the bracket. 2. Let me just put it here so that we're not confused. 2a1 plus 3 times 2 is 6. Now let's open. 2 times 2, 4. 4a1 plus 2 times 6, that's 12. Remember, everything equals to 1048. Let's continue. 4 here, so okay, because that's S4. Now 4a1 would be equal to 1048 minus 12, and that should be 1036. Now what's okay, sorry, before we divide, let me just put it here. Now divide both sides by 4 here. Now what's 1036 divided by 4? 1036 divided by 4 should give us 259. Okay, so our value is 259. The value for A1, that is. So A1 is 259. So if A1 is 259, obviously A2 will be, just add 2 because our D is 2. 259 plus 2, that should be 261. A3 should be 263. And A4 should be 265. Now let's see if these values are correct. So you guys can use your calculators. 259 plus 261 plus 263 plus 265, and I believe you should get 1048. If you add these 4 values together, you should get 1048. So again, the values 259, 261, 263, and 265. Okay, so wonderful, wonderful. And one more. So I don't own this question. I actually got this question online. So let's see if we can actually solve this question. Logs are stacked in a pile, as shown at the right. The bottom row has 21 logs, and the top row has 15 logs. Each row has one less log than the row below it. So let's look at this now. The bottom row has 21. The top row has 15. Okay, so let this be our A1 because we're starting from 15. So our A1 can be 15. Okay, that's where we start from before we start to increase. And each row has one less log than the row below it. So it has one less log. So it means the difference is just 1. Okay, so this is, if this has 15 logs, the next one should have 16. Next one should have 17. Okay, so each row has one less log than the row below it. If this log has 16, if this row has 15, it means this row has 16. Why am I saying row and log? Okay, so our A1 is 15, our D is 1. How many logs are in the pile? So we're actually looking for n. Okay, looking for n. Okay, now our A1 is 15. Our D is 1, okay, and our AN is what we're looking for. We're looking for the value of n. So how do we find n? Now remember, let's use this formula. AN equals A1 plus n minus 1 D. So we have 21 here. So what can we do? Let's put 21 because that's what we're looking for. 21 equals, what's our A1? 15 plus n minus 1. Our D is still 1. So we can just put like this times 1. So 21 will give us 15 plus n minus 1. Okay. And let me put it here. Let's continue from here. Sorry. So 21 equals, what's 15 minus 1? That's 14. Okay, let me just put it together. 15 minus 1 plus n. That's 14 plus n. Okay, now n will be 21 minus 14. And what's n? 21 minus 14, that should give us 7. Give us 7. So it means there's 7 rows. And even if we decide to count them with our eyes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 rows. Okay, there are 7 rows. So our the value, what we're looking for, the n, is 7. Okay. So if they say how many logs are there, you're actually looking for the number of, just like you're looking for the number of terms. Okay, you're not looking for A1, you're not looking for D, you're looking for the number of terms. How many logs are in the pile? Okay, so I think we can stop here. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to be answering more and more questions, more and more topics, anything math. So for now, we're going to focus on arithmetic progression, geometric progressions, simultaneous equations. Okay, so I think that's it. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. And please subscribe. Please subscribe. I'll really appreciate it, and it's gonna encourage me to put more content. Okay, so please subscribe. If there's you have any questions, let me know. Any math question, just let me know. And I'm also gonna make videos addressing your questions. So whenever you guys ask questions, I'm gonna be making videos answering those questions, so that we can enjoy math, show how easy math can be. So thank you and have a wonderful day, guys. Have a wonderful day. Wow. Have a wonderful day.